This past weekend, Donald Trump arrived at Wildwood, New Jersey, and the estimates are between 80 and 100,000 people showed up to hear this man speak in New Jersey. Now, the area that Wildwood is in, it's a mixed district. It's 50-50, you know, it's a moderate district. We used to do Timcast IRL in the morning show from slightly north of this. I think it's District 2. I could be wrong, but we were just north in a Democrat district, and we wished we were in the southern one because it was literally a mile or two away from us. But many people are suggesting this is showing the red wave cometh. I'm going to pause. I'm going to show you the pictures. Let me show you the pictures. We can talk about the red wave. We can talk about all the Trump supporters. And then we can talk about the shadow campaign. Because we can sit here all day and night and say, look how great things are for Donald Trump. But anybody remember the 2020 cycle? How many indicators did we get that Donald Trump was poised to win? Moody's Analytics, I love this one. The economic forecast suggested Donald Trump had the highest probability to win handily. Handily. And he didn't. Now, I mean, you may argue that he did win. He did win. Trump's not in the White House. I don't count winning by who had the best argument, who actually convinced the American people. Winning is who has the power. And we thought, based on the argument, Trump was going to win. And right now, Trump certainly has the argument because, of course, Biden is worse than he's ever been. But I wonder. I really do. Mario Nawfal on Twitter says the largest political candidate rally in history. Officials of Wildwood, New Jersey estimate that between 80 and 100,000 people attended Trump's beach rally. Was it the biggest? Maybe for a Republican. In 2008, St. Louis hosted Obama's rally to 100,000 people. Well, let's take a look at that. Obama, St. Louis, 100K. Let's see if we can get a photo. 100,000 turnout for a rally. Okay, well, there's NPR. There's no photos. Let me try if I can just jump to the photos here. Here we go. We do have, I believe we do have a photo. It's 2008, so it is a pretty crummy photo. But there you go. An estimated 100,000 people attend a rally at Arch Park in St. Louis. Now hold on there a minute. I'll tell you what. If they're saying between 80 and 100, why don't we just say an estimated 100,000 people? We'll call it a draw. How about that? Because I'm not sure how much it matters. Certainly it feels good. I'm sure many of you who are Trump supporters and believe that Trump is our most sane and logical path towards securing the border and making this country safe again. Did you hear Steve Buscemi, the famous actor, got punched in the face in New York randomly? Well, Hollywood actors can't even walk down the street without getting punched. I mean, what are we supposed to do? A lot of us want to believe that Americans truly want a better country to save this country. And for all of his faults, Trump kind of is the best guy for the job. But I got to tell you, shadow campaign. Here we go. Let's see if I can, I don't know, maybe they don't want me to read this article. Wildwood rally shows Trump's base has only grown louder and prouder since 2016. But louder and prouder among who? I mean, who's joining the ranks of Donald Trump's base? Or are they suggesting it has not grown one bit? Certainly, it has grown. The Philadelphia Inquirer says, as former President Donald Trump stood on stage in the sand in Wildwood, he spoke to a sea of his fiercest fans gathering at the foot of Wildwood's famous Great White roller coaster. They poured onto the Wildwood beach hours earlier. Many came in pickup trucks decked out in Trump flags with license plates from up and down the East Coast. The country is headed in the wrong direction, said Kelly Carter Currier, 62, a retired teacher from New Hampshire who wore a Trump New Hampshire license plate around her neck. So hopefully people will get their ish together and will vote the right person in. And if they don't, I don't know, World War III. I'd just like to pause and take a moment. Yeah, really, those are the stakes that we're staring down the barrel of. Joe Biden is driving us full speed into World War III. And unfortunately, I got to say, I'm not sure Trump could avert it at this point, even if he did become president. I was saying a year ago, I believe that Donald Trump could end the war. The moment he got elected, the war would be over because Russia and Ukraine would be like, well, that's it. Now I'm not so sure. Because even with Trump's strength and his let's call it assertiveness and unpredictability, if those are some words I could choose. It may be a foregone conclusion. Russia is in, and there's escalation happening. By the time Trump becomes president, we may be a boulder rolling down a hill. In an election that has been defined by disenfranchisement from a large portion of the electorate, Trump's core supporters have remained a loud, proud, and seemingly immovable bloc, even as the former president faces felony indictments across 4 jurisdictions. No, you don't get it, Inquirer. Maybe if you actually talk to some people, maybe you could listen to a show like this. The indictments are inflaming his base. No one believes they're legitimate, not even Bill Maher. Yeah, I'll get to that later today. Bill Maher, shocked, saying Stormy Daniels is lying. Really, Bill? You know, the guy sometimes pays attention. I got a 30-second clip here of this rally. Let's play a clip of this rally here for you. It's playing very, very dramatic music of some sort. Well, I don't think we actually need the music. For those that are listening, you can't see it. It's just a massive crowd as Donald Trump is speaking. This is a massive crowd. And Wildwood is a really awesome place, by the way. It's super fun. Cool place, and to see all of these people gathering from up and down New Jersey. The question now becomes, will Donald Trump win New Jersey? Seriously, they're asking this question, and apparently it's not happened since the 80s or something. Jersey's shore swamped with 80,000. They're going to go with the lower number. You know they are. We'll take a look at this from 538, the latest polls. Earlier today on Fox News, they were talking about how Trump lost New Jersey by around 16 points in 2020. But a governor who ran, a Republican, was just shy of a couple points, indicating that party-wise, New Jersey is in play. Well, from 538, we have Trump versus Kennedy. Kennedy beats Trump in New Jersey. Biden versus Kennedy. Biden easily wins. Here's what's interesting. Emerson College, March 26th to the 29th. Trump was only down by 5 points, just 5. And in the same poll, removing Kennedy, West, and Stein, Trump is down only 6 points. Well, it looks like he's down 7, but maybe it was 6.5. Now, I don't know if that means Trump can win New Jersey. And I think you'd be crazy to think Trump could win New Jersey on the I'm sorry. Trump could win New Jersey on the merits easily. Let me break it down for you, my friends. If Donald Trump ran for president and everyone had to walk up and say, here's who I'm voting for and here's why, Trump would win. No question. In fact, probably every Republican would win ever because Democrats rely on young and ignorant voters. And that's not me being disrespectful. That's fact. One of my favorite stories that came out in the past couple of weeks, but is getting a lot of attention now, is the Ashley Biden diary. You may not be aware, but Snopes actually updated their ruling saying the diary's real. You know how we know? Because Ashley Biden said it was real. She wrote to the court saying it was real. That's according to Snopes. Now, let me explain to the Democrat voter base. On Timcast IRL, we were discussing the Ashley Biden diary, and I was told that it wasn't confirmed the diary was hers. That's right. For those that aren't familiar with the story, Ashley Biden, the daughter of Joe, had a diary leak. There was some investigations over it. People got arrested. People had their homes raided. In the diary, Ashley Biden says inappropriate things may have happened, like showering with her dad. Yeah, creepy. Here's what's fascinating. There was a news outlet that published excerpts from the diary. It is a fact the diary was in the possession of this news outlet, and before that, Project Veritas, and before that, some woman who found it in a house. Apparently, Ashley Biden had stayed in the house. The woman was there, saw the bag, and said, whoa, look at this. Took it and sold it. I don't know exactly what happened, all the details, but what I can tell you is this. Occam's razor suggests if we know for a fact this woman took the book and then she got charged for it, by the way, her and this guy. We know for a fact James O'Keefe and Project Veritas had the book. We know for a fact that they passed it off to a different organization and then that organization published excerpts. Well, I don't see why you would presume it wasn't the diary. But the media reported that we can't confirm that what they published was actually from the diary, as if to imply, even though they had the diary, the implication was they fabricated these pages. Okay. You actually had liberals on X, on Twitter, saying, we can't confirm those are real. We don't even know that it's real. I'm looking at you, Krasensteins. Well, how do you even know those pages are real? Fascinating. You see, there's a logic to it. You don't have to absolutely believe the diary was factually and truly Ashley Biden's. You just have to say the preponderance of evidence suggests, and Occam's razor suggests, in the absence of evidence, the solution that makes the least amount of assumptions tends to be the correct one. That is, they had the diary, they published it. Okay. But they pretended like it wasn't real. How about the Hunter Biden laptop? Same deal. How do we even know it's real? There's emails from his associates. Well, someone could have faked it. These are who, look, they live in a fake reality of pure denial. And that's who Democrats rely on for a voter base. They are ignorant and marching in lockstep. And the Krasensteins wonder why I call them evil so often. It's because I know they're not stupid. But they're sophists who make up any excuse and any reason to keep people trapped in this world where they are causing a detriment to their own lives and suffering because of it. Oh, I'll give you an example. New York a couple of years ago put out a what to do in the event of a nuclear bomb. That's right. A nuclear bomb hits New York. What do you do? Now, why would they do that? I don't know. Maybe it was in the budget. It was in the budget, so they wanted to spend the money. Or maybe the president that we have is marching us in a single file line towards World War III and the use of strategic nuclear weapons. I certainly hope not. I believe Vladimir Putin will use nukes because, and people need to understand that nuclear weapons does not mean dropping a bomb on New York. It means Vladimir Putin will test tactical low-yield nuclear bombs on the battlefield. And ain't nobody's going to retaliate with an ICBM. They're just going to say, well, what do we do now? In fact, they've already argued that depleted uranium shells is nuclear warfare. Radioactive, what are they? They're artillery shells. Take a look at this from interactive polls, my friends, because hope is on the horizon. Trump is winning in Nevada by 14 points. Wasn't Nevada supposed to be a swing state? Now it's safe red? Wow. Don't know if I believe that, but we should pull up 270 to win so we can get the total counts here. I think Nevada is a small. It's what is it? Six votes? It's 6 votes. I thought it was 7 for a second, but it is 6. So let's pull up 270 to win, and we'll take a look at this. Nevada, Trump up 14. Arizona, Trump up 9. Georgia, Trump up 8. Pennsylvania, Trump up 4. Wisconsin, Trump up 1. Michigan is for Biden. All right, so let's hit it. We got Nevada for Trump. We got Georgia for Trump. We got PA for okay, Trump wins. Just with those states alone, if Trump has them, he won based on the current map. Now, Michigan, they're saying, is Joe Biden. And I believe, I don't know if they have Arizona. Trump is up in Arizona and in Wisconsin by 1. So let's just, there it is. 297 electoral votes for Donald Trump if this map holds. But will it? The one thing I think people need to understand is Texas. So you've got this video coming out from Tucker Carlson where he's talking about how illegal aliens can vote so long as they reasonably believe they are citizens. Now, hold on. I'm not going to say I'm a lawyer and I know everything about this law. What I can say is there appears to be a code that says if an illegal alien reasonably believes that they're a citizen, they can cast a ballot. It doesn't mean the ballot gets counted. It just, I believe that precludes any kind of criminal charges against them. The reason for that is there are people who accidentally vote, not realizing because they went to a DMV or otherwise. Still, I think we should have safeguards for this. But the real argument is, even if non-citizens vote, their votes are supposed to be rejected. Problem. We don't do citizenship verification. We do Social Security verification. We check for Social Security numbers. Non-citizens can have those numbers if they get work permits. The fear now is that what's happening is that while we are distracted by these swing states screaming and cheering, saying, woohoo, Trump can't lose, something is afoot in Texas. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring you back to the Social Security Administration website for the Help America Vote verification system. They've recently begun publishing their numbers again, which was weird. They skipped a month and a half. And we can take a look down here and just scroll on down to our good friend Texas and May 4th and see 7,094 people without IDs tried to register. That didn't seem like no big deal, huh? All right. Well, why don't we jump 2 weeks before to April 20th, a period where they weren't reporting properly, and it's going, 250,000. And most of you are already familiar with this story, but something ain't right. 4,659 people tried to register who were dead. The argument, of course, we heard from Texas is this is clearly a mistake. It's not happening. The argument from Missouri, because of their weird numbers, look at this, 3,000, look, 97,000 in Missouri. They said, we're simply doing voter roll cleanup. Oh, you see, that's what we thought at first. At first, when we brought the story up, our guest said, well, what if they're just checking their existing database against active Social Security numbers to see who's alive and who's dead? And I said, that's a really good point. Until you actually take a look at what is Help America Vote, where they say on a government website, states must only submit a request to us for new voters who do not present a valid driver's license during the voter registration process. HAVV verifies the accuracy of the name, date of birth, and last 4 digits of the Social Security number submitted, and sends an indication of whether our records show the individual as deceased. Now, when they say that they're just doing voter roll cleanup, the problem there is it means they're abusing the system. But you know what? I can accept that. Perhaps these states have found an easy path towards voter roll cleanup, and that is by taking the old filings for the registration that they still have for some reason, submitting them to the SSA, and checking them against the database for Social Security numbers. Perhaps. Or perhaps there's worse news. Perhaps the reality is while we cheer for all of these swing states, let's say Trump even wins Michigan, he wins Minnesota, let's say he even swings that. If Missouri and Texas, okay, not with Minnesota, if Trump wins Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Georgia, Arizona, and Nevada, but Texas and Missouri flip blue, Democrats win. Texas is the key card right here. I wonder why Texas has been so overrun by non-citizens, why we're seeing these strange numbers out of Texas. Well, right now, no one's paying attention so much to Texas, but let's do this. Let's do 538 Texas polling. We'll pull up those numbers. Texas 538. We have the latest presidential polling out of Texas. And here we can see April 12th to the 22nd, YouGov, Trump's up 8 points. Same polling when they add in Kennedy, West, and Stein, Trump's up 9 points. So it's all looking oh so good, doesn't it? Of course, there's actually very few polls. And this is where it's interesting to me. No one expects Texas to go Democrat, but there is an argument to be made. Texas goes Democrat. They say it's shocking. The pundits are going to say, well, you take a look at Florida. Florida was a swing state, and then we saw this smash into the red. It can happen. And then what'll they say? They're going to say something like, these California transplants moving in, and maybe it's not Missouri, Arizona. Arizona goes blue. Texas goes blue. And they're going to say, look, you got people in California that have left to Arizona, that have left to Texas, and they've changed those demographics. And you might say, there's no way that's true. The people who are going to Texas are anti-lockdown, anti-woke. And they're going to argue, no, you misunderstand. Or maybe they're going to say, they might have been mad at the lockdowns, but they're still Democrats. Or they might say, well, you got a lot of people in California who were upset over the crime and the human waste. And so Texas is a very cosmopolitan place where they can go and not have to deal with all the crime and the human waste. I don't know for sure. What I can tell you is that we've not been given a real explanation for why the Social Security Administration has registered 250,000 people in 2 weeks. And it's been this way every 2 weeks, 125K. 4,659 deceased, perhaps. It's as simple as Texas is taking 250,000 voter registrations that they have on file and submitting them to the SSA every 2 weeks. I'm sorry, I don't quite understand that. Something doesn't add up. And I tell you this, my friends, there is a shadow campaign. We had this question on, I think, last Thursday. One of our members asked, do you think it's possible that there is no shadow campaign? And before he could finish his sentence, Phil Labonte went, no. There absolutely is a shadow campaign. And what is that, you ask? For the uninitiated, Time magazine ran an article. I'll pull it up for you. I always think it's important to pull up this story. They call it a shadow campaign. They said, the secret history of the shadow campaign that saved the 2020 election. Time magazine outright said there was a conspiracy unfolding behind the scenes. In fact, that conspiracy was to stop Donald Trump. The handshake between business and labor, one component of a vast cross-partisan campaign to protect the election. An extraordinary shadow effort dedicated not to winning the vote, but to ensuring it would be free, fair, credible, and uncorrupted. What does that mean? Though much of the activity took place on the left, it was separate from the Biden campaign and crossed ideological lines. The shadow campaigners were desperate to stop. Was not a the scenario. Sorry, the shadow campaigners were desperate to stop was not a Trump victory. It was an election so calamitous that no result could be discerned at all. A failure of the central act of democratic self-governance that has been a hallmark of America since its founding. That's right. Business interests. Look at this. Look at this picture. Confederate flag. Biden for president. We get it. The shadow campaign to stop Donald Trump. Do you believe that they would forego such a campaign this time around? Because if you do, I got a bridge to sell you. We don't know what it is. Maybe it's RFK Jr. Maybe he is the spoiler to tank Donald Trump. I'm not so sure. He's a bit all over the place. Maybe the shadow campaign is this Help America Vote thing that was uncovered, and Texas will turn blue, and no one will know why. And what can you do about it? Not sure. But it should be interesting nonetheless. What I can tell you is the weight that we are seeing in this political season is the most I've seen in my lifetime. The people, the rallies, it's incredible. Now, you want to tell me that Obama can draw in about 100K people and Trump supposedly can as well. You say Obama's the most popular president in history, or at least in our history. Trump's rivaling Obama, and you expect me to lose. You expect me to believe that he's losing to Joe Biden. Well, I'll tell you this. In 2020, Trump won the argument. But Democrats played the rules the way they were designed, not the way we wanted the game to be played. Trump said, vote for me, and people said yes. Democrats said, hide Joe Biden and ballot harvest as much as you can. So we'll see. Next segment's coming up at 1 p.m. on this channel. Thanks for hanging out, and I will see you all then.